Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are good to get started. Hope everybody's having a great day. Evelyn is tied up, so she will not be able to make this meeting. And if I think Tasha Thomas is vice chair, correct me if I'm wrong. And if that's the case, then Tasha needs to, if she's able, are you able to preside, Tasha?
You're on mute.
Yes, sorry. Yes. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order at 4:03 p.m. I don't have my agenda up right now.
You want me to do the roll call, Tasha?
Yes, please.
Okay. Atiba Johnson, are you here?
Here and present.
Raymond Davis.
I'm here.
Kamika is running. Oh, she's on. Kamika Sidbury.
You're still muted.
Present.
Okay. Willie Black.
Here, present.
Tasha Thomas is here. Chakima.
Here.
And Brandon Hickman. Thank you. Awesome. So we are good, Ms. Chair. We can proceed on. I think with the April meeting minutes, Willie took the notes and Tasha took some notes and Lynn took some notes. So Willie, you didn't get to complete those, correct?
That's correct. We're going to have
Okay.
to table them for this meeting.
All right, so we could table it to next month's meeting if that's okay with everyone.
Sure. Okay, let's see. All right, we're gonna table the approval of the April minutes, so we'll just move to old business. So the first thing we have is updates on projects for the historical marker on Orange Street. Willie?
And with that project, I was notified that we were without a historic planner to actually work on it. So, so they just hired a new person, and Penny is in the process of updating this person on on everything that has transpired, and getting the packet over to them.
Okay. So where we're at now is once that's updated, then you can submit your packet to that new person.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And what happens after that?
What happens after what? After it goes to the HPC planner?
Yes.
Yes.
It goes to the
game.
Yeah, it goes to the HPC planner. If she, and this is she's a new female, I have not met her yet, but if she will review it, if it meets the criteria, then she'll prepare the packet to submit to the Historic Preservation Commission. And that is a board of 7 members appointed by the city council. If they approve it without incident, then there's a second piece to that. And I'm not really sure if you saw what I sent you, but there's a second piece to that then you submit another application that actually endorses the recognition of 1406.
Okay.
Orange Street, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So Penny, how long do you think that would take to do all of that?
Well, I don't control the process, and I can't answer that question other than HPC meets once a month. And I'm thinking since she's new and I'm being brought up to speed, this is April, so I'm thinking not until June, although it could be sooner than that, but I'm thinking not until June.
Madam Clerk, this is May. You missed a month. This is May.
I'm sorry, May. God forgive me. So it's going to probably be August because the packets get submitted. HPC meets the second Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, of each month. And so I'm thinking the packet gets submitted to them at least 2 weeks out. So if it gets to the HPC planner this week, then she'll probably review it and submit it for their June. And they don't meet in July, is my understanding.
Okay. Any more questions regarding the historical marker?
If I may,
not to belay anyone, but what is 1406?
Oh, I'm
Question.
sorry, Brandon, you asked that last time. This is, sorry about that. This is the Eaton House with Lenny
Oh, okay.
Simpson. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the Living Legends program. Atiba, do you have an update?
Yes, so this week, myself, Shakima, and Brandon Hickman will be on a call. That is the committee, along with some input from Miss Evelyn. And so I'll have a full report next meeting, but Living Legends will take place this year. Until I meet with the committee, we've had some strenuous things on all of our calendars the last month, so we weren't able to pull together collectively. But we do have that scheduled for this week. I think it's either May 5th or May the 10th, I believe it was.
Yes.
But either way, I will definitely have a full report for you at the next meeting.
Okay, great. So we'll have a full report for the Living Legends at the May meeting. I mean, the June meeting.
Yeah, this is May. This is May, Tasha. You missed the month.
I
We have
know.
June meeting.
Yes, it's hard. It just turned May. It's hard to believe. Any more discussion about Living Legends or questions? Do we still need to vote, or are we just going to use the slate of people that we had before?
So,
Yeah.
so the plan was
Yeah.
to get collectively with the committee. We do have the names originally, so I think we were going to kind of, in discussions before with everyone, we were going to kind of use the same names. Some of those people have passed, but we were still going to honor them in some kind of way. But I don't want to
Okay.
speak too soon without actually getting with the committee.
Okay, makes sense. All right, well, no more old business to discuss, so let's move on to new business. Does anybody have anything new to discuss? Any events coming up that maybe we should participate in?
I just have a question, and maybe this was discussed, but I'm in 2 meetings at one time. Is there any way we can get an update on the Giblin Lodge, just progress of what is going on with Giblin Lodge?
I think that was Mr. Davis's project.
I will talk to the Worship Master tonight, and I will see exactly where they are at on that. I know the former Worship Master, he was working on that. We have a new Worship Master that came in January, so I'll get with them tonight and find out exactly where they at on that.
Okay.
Mr. Davis, you're aware that the meeting was canceled for tonight, correct?
Yeah, we are. It was canceled, but it's going to be. I can call him on the phone. I can call him on the phone and find out exactly where we at on that. And we're going to meet next Monday night anyway.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So you think you'll be able to have an update for us at the next meeting?
Yeah, on the next meeting, I will have an update.
Okay, great.
Madam Vice President, I do have some more new business.
Okay, go right ahead.
What's going on, Corey? So I was asked to do some type of, I don't know whether we're going to do some type of naming thing. So I was asked to bring to the commission some type of ceremony, naming recognition, or naming a building, some kind of honorarium for James Hook Nixon. Mr. Nixon was a New Hanover High School All-Star. He came through during the time, during segregation. So we're aware Mr. McCray actually segregated, began that, but Hook Nixon was the actual superstar in sports, respected by all peers. I have done some minor research. I haven't found any blemishes on his name or record. Just all great stuff and how talented he was in sports and the things he did for the community. And so I was actually approached by a council person that would like to see something done, named a date or something, and he wanted it to come from the commission.
Okay.
See, but what was the first name again? I'm sorry.
It's James Hook Nixon.
Okay.
John Hook Nixon.
John Hook Nixon. I'm sorry, John Hook Nixon.
Okay.
So, Atiba, are you going to do the footwork on this? Is this
I guess, yeah. I guess since I was approached to do it, I think my only thing, I don't think it's an actual committee needed or anything. I think just collectively, if we could come up with, I'll do some more lead work. I'm sure Mr. Davis is very familiar with who Mr. Nixon was. I'm pretty sure Big B knows by being a Hanover alumni. So I guess, I could kind of collaborate with those two gentlemen to see what kind of information we could come up with and see if the commission would like to either name or honor him in some type of way. The only dilemma is this is something that can't, per request from a council person, we can't drag out 2, 3, 4, 5 months. They felt like it should have been done already, and so they're adamant about pushing it through. So Penny,
Okay.
you can chime in.
Yeah, so I get it, but please be reminded that you all can't name anything. Namings are done through the council's naming committee. So it might have been the council member that should have taken it to the naming committee. However, it sounds like to me he's looking for it to come through the commission, as he probably thinks it's more appropriate. So all you all can do as a commission is do the research. Mr. Johnson, make the presentation to the commission, vote as to whether or not you endorse such a thing, and then turn it over to the council's the council's naming committee. The city, and then if it passes them, then they'll give it to the full council. But all this commission can do is do the legwork and make the recommendation. So I think the question is this a project, something that you all want to support, get behind it? There is a process, as you all may recall, that the council just put into place because Atiba served as your representative on that board. But there is a process in place where you have to submit a application to me, the city clerk, and then I in turn present it to the naming committee for them to consider, and then it goes to council for a final decision. But I think you need, what you need to do is get the information and make the recommendation and then vote on it, and then we'll take it up the ladder.
okay?
Is there a landmark, Atiba, that they're looking at?
No, so it was like something just needed to be done, bruh, and they kind of just, we're not gonna have any issues. We just got to go through the process. I'm gonna put it to you like that.
Got you.
So again, I've done just minor research as far as like, like anything criminal or anything that could kind of blow up in our face, and I hadn't personally found anything.
Okay.
And I hadn't found a landmark where he used to live, what area, nothing. I just knew he was a Hanover legend.
I have some like text stuff about him, so if that can help, I'll make sure I forward it to you.
Appreciate
But it sounds like something, a consensus that the commission is interested in getting behind this.
Yes.
Do we need to make a motion, Madam Clerk?
No, I think if they give you consensus, you won't have to vote until you actually bring it back. So I just want to make sure you're not doing your work in vain, that's all. Okay, thank you.
I'd like to ask a question, and I am new to this committee, so I'm not sure if this has been brought up before, but recently I was a part of a conversation. So Live Oak Bank has a couple of affinity groups, one of which I manage the overall affinity group for all affinity groups at Live Oak. And then we have what we call minority professionals aligning communities. And in one of those conversations, they talked about the Wilmington Journal. And recently they took a tour, Impact Group took a tour on Cedric's bus, and they were in awe, of course. I've known about this building, Live Oak tried to do a little something to save the building a while back, and because there was a lien on it. So don't have all the details, but very few. And I'm just wondering if there was anything that the Commission of African American History has done anything, attempted to do anything. Do we want to do anything? Can we do anything? I just feel like that is a part of history that should be preserved. But again, I'm new to this city and I want to fix everything. So just tell me, like, Chikima, back up, sit down, you know, cross your arms, although I may not do any of that because I'm a bit of a disruptor, but help me out here.
Okay, so this is Penny. Yeah, I'm very familiar with the building, Shakima, that you're reference to. Last year, I was part of the group that took the lead on raising funds to save the journal along with Linda Thompson. And a lot got revealed. The building, and I'm pretty sure it's the same one on 7th Street and I saw it on the news, it got at me, was beyond repair. So as we went through that process, and we met our mark. We raised the money that was asked of us to raise the money to bring the journal back. But what you did not know, and what a lot of folks did not know, is they were like 10 years behind on taxes.
Right.
And so that had to be taken care of. And then it was like, yes, the state got involved, Ben Chavis got involved, NAACP on a national state level got involved, and all these folks did their due diligence with that building. The building really it's under code with the city. It's been under code for a very long time. But at least we were able to clear up some of the debt. And so I think at this point where it is, and I'll double check with Linda, because we haven't met in a very long time, to see where we are. You know, we lost Mary Alice Thatch, who was the go-to person for that project. Her daughter is taking over, trying to keep it running. And we have found a new location for them to work out of. And the building sits. So I really don't a whole lot this commission do until those very serious issues are taken care of. And because the city does have a huge code enforcement issue with it, I think it would be a conflict for the commission to take a stand until they get clear of some of the things that they're facing.
So, Madam Clerk, is my understanding, and again, I don't have all the details, but I think it was a little over 300,000 was part of the liens and beyond repair that would be needed.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So,
And the commission doesn't raise money either, so.
right. So in other words, if we were raising money, not we, someone else giving money, you'd have to give money in order to get that 300
Right.
plus.
And some of the commission members donated personally.
Right.
And some of my council members donated personally. But as a commission, you would not be able to do that. And we have the
I wouldn't be
commission
able to do it as a commission, but I could go and raise money for it.
under your name or Live Oak Bank or whomever, but
Gotcha.
under this commission. And the commission has recognized and honored the Mr. Gervais, and there's a marker already for him. But as far as the location in the building, it's a lot going on in a particular building. In fact, was not for us stepping up, raising the fund, it probably would have gotten torn down by now. So it's just a matter of time is what it is.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just, the conversation was so deep and I'm very passionate about it, and I'm pretty sure you can hear that in my voice at this moment. And I would hate to see such a historical piece of history, go down.
Yeah,
Right.
I totally understand. Yes, ma'am.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Clerk. There is fundings through the state to make this a national marker and building, but all financial obligations have to be cleared up before you can go forward.
Right.
And that building has to be brought to code before you can even get a plaque on it as
Correct.
well, if I'm not mistaken. And I do remember, again, those pieces from serving on the other preservation company, nonprofit, so.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead, can we do a marker that's not on the building, but close to the site?
That building is in no shape for you to, I mean, all you can do is run past it or walk past it. And I'm not trying
Yeah.
to evaluate, but I don't see where you would want to do that when it's got, put a marker out there and the property has
Yeah.
got some liens and taxes and all stuff on it. It's not a good look. So,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
and I think that the family would want that taken care of before we bring any more visibility to that
Okay.
building. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Makes sense.
And that's before the state could take it on as a like museum or anything like that. All that stuff has to be.
Right. And I will tell you that we even had a representative from the governor's office. The governor assigned staff to this project to work with us. And the state historical people, they involved. They did. In fact, we had a representative from their department out of Raleigh. So, and Dr. Ben Chavis, who is very well known as Wilmington 10, he took it on as a project. So it's a lot of support, but there's some local stuff that has to be taken care of before we can go any further.
If I know you probably don't have the exact number, but I'm asking if you had to give me a number of what needed to be raised, would you say, I know we said over 3, but would 4 or 5 be kind of the number?
At 1.5 million.
I don't know that
I
I
was
can.
about to ask the same question, yeah.
Let me get my card.
So what, Brandon? I'm sorry.
Let me get my card. Hold on.
You know, I know Chip likes me. I don't know that he likes me that much.
Penny, has all the taxes been paid on that?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Can I ask a question? Is it more important to have the building or is it more important to have the paper? Because when we look, not, and I'm just asking a question. Because the building is just a house for the paper. But my question would be, how can we celebrate the paper to where it is what it needs to be? And that is that political tool that can go through the community and provide the insight to our community.
Right.
And I know, I mean, I throw newspapers out of there all the time, so I'm not questioning that. But if we can invest in the tools and the technology that they need for the paper and the human investment that needs to be with the paper, I think if they already have a new building or whatever else, we can, things like that. I think that will be more, and that's just me talking. I'm not talking nobody, but that will be to where students can understand what civic literacy is, how they can engage, how they can self-advocate, how they can advocate for their communities. But that can be the tool that the Wilmington Journal can be.
And Kamika, I do understand exactly where you're coming from. I honestly said the same thing when I first got wind of this over a year ago. But when you the business can go anywhere. Clearly, she's running it, right, from anywhere. But when you're looking at the history of the building, that's the part that I think most people are in awe of trying to save it or wanting to save it, right? And
I agree with Chemo. I think it's emotional ties to it as well. And I know we have to get over that because it's about business.
Right.
But it's also, if that building goes away, there's one more institution that you're missing. It's like missing Williston. It's like missing DC Virgo.
Yeah.
yeah.
So saying all that, and I don't want to come across as a negative Nancy,
It's like missing it right.
but if Shakima and Kamika, if that's something that's true and dear, then before you take off with it, I would say, give me a call and let me bring you up to speed, because it's much more to this project than most people know. The business side is extremely important. I mean, I think that's why, because it is the oldest Black newspaper in the country, is what we were told. But you've got some young family members who if they could walk there tomorrow, they would. And the journal is not completely owned by them. Well,
Yeah.
they're coming underneath the umbrella of another paper. And so that's little bit by little bit is losing its value on what Ms. Sidbury spoke about. That's an important tool for our community. But it is emotional, it is personal, but the bottom line is you need to know how to run the business. And if you cannot run the business and financing is key to this business, then that's a problem. And folks were very generous writing their check because
Absolutely.
of that and because of being close to the family. But in my opinion, right this minute, it's not appropriate for this commission to take as a project. So again, I'm happy to meet and talk, however, with anyone that wants to sit down and talk about it. But I'll tell you that I think Linda and I, we went to the extreme. We asked all the experts, all the attorneys. We did all we could do to see what could be done to put them in a better place or a better financial look. And they are still producing a paper once every 2 days or something like that, but they're in another location. But they do a lot of things electronically by phone or other ways where you physically don't get to go see who's actually putting out the newspaper.
Yeah. And I do get it. The business aspect of it is definitely important. I know.
Yes.
And we did from a loan or lending standpoint attempted to make contact. I know I did because I was reaching out for several weeks before anyone would return a call. So thank you for entertaining my question. I appreciate you all.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other new business?
See if I can go find 1.5 million.
We're fine. Fine. Tosh, the only thing I have is, if Commission will recall, I mentioned 1898 celebration coming up in 2023. Linda sent me a note a couple weeks ago and said that we're having a meeting. And remember, the conversation was it would not be the kind of celebration we had this year, but we wanted to do something to keep commemorating so that going forward, there would be something every year. And so what I do know is they're still planning to do a reef ceremony on the water. And then there's still, I think they're going to be doing some history lessons. Sandra Patrick is still planning to do that. But Linda wanted us to keep it in front of the commission so that we'll be a part of the planning in the beginning of this event as opposed to picking up at the end. So I just want to go ahead and put that out there for everybody.
Okay. When do you think when is that scheduled to be? When do you think you might be able to?
She hadn't given me a schedule. She just, November the 5th, I think Todd is planning to do a book signing. And November the 8th, I think the clergy is planning to do some type of unity breakfast. And then like that Thursday, they're going to look to do the reef ceremony, laying the reef ceremony, doing it at 1898 Park. And Sonia will do her lunchtime, which we don't have any control over that. That's just like an FYI. And then end with some type of unity service.
Okay.
But as soon as she gives me dates, times, I'll send a note out because I want to make sure that you all are part of the planning process.
Sounds good.
And we will be starting to look at, I guess, anyone that is looking to take part in the Emancipation Proclamation series. We're going to look at forming a subcommittee starting in November, during November's meeting, and we can talk more about that soon.
So you want me to start adding that to your agenda going forward? Is that correct, Ms. Sidbury?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, like Evelyn says, if all hearts and minds are clear, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 4:33.
Thank y'all so very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you all.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.